From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. Israel approved plans Monday to seize the Gaza Strip and to stay in the Palestinian territory for an unspecified amount of time, two Israeli officials said, a move that, if implemented, would vastly expand Israel's operations there and likely draw fierce international opposition. The new plan, which was approved in an early morning vote by Israeli cabinet ministers, also calls for hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to move to Gaza's south. That would likely amount to their forcible displacement and exacerbate an already dire humanitarian crisis. Details of the plan were not formally announced, and its exact timing and implementation were not clear. Its approval came hours after the Israeli military chief said the army was calling up tens of thousands of reserve soldiers. The plan may be another measure by Israel to try to pressure Hamas into making concessions in ceasefire negotiations. A third person, a defense official, said the new plan would not begin until after U.S. President Donald Trump wraps up his expected visit to the Middle East this month, allowing for the possibility that Israel might agree to a ceasefire in the meantime. All three officials spoke on condition of anonymity because they were discussing military plans. And now this news from Mexico. President Donald Trump on Sunday said Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum rejected his proposal to send U.S. troops to Mexico to help thwart the illegal drug trade because she is fearful of the country's powerful cartels. The comments by Trump came out a day after Sheinbaum confirmed that Trump pressed her in a call last month to accept a bigger role for the U.S. military in combating drug cartels in Mexico. Trump said it was true that he proposed sending the troops to Mexico and lashed into Sheinbaum for dismissing the idea. Well, she's so afraid of the cartels she can't walk, so that's the reason, Trump said in comments to reporters aboard Air Force One on Sunday. And I think she's a lovely woman. The president of Mexico is a lovely woman, but she is so afraid of the cartels that she can't even think straight. The U.S. military presence along the southern border with Mexico has increased steadily in recent months following Trump's order in January to increase the Army's role in stemming the flow of migrants. The U.S. Northern Command has surged troops and equipment to the border, increased manned surveillance flights to monitor fentanyl trafficking along the border, and sought expanded authority for U.S. Special Forces to work closely with Mexican forces conducting operations against cartels. But Sheinbaum said that U.S. troops operating inside Mexico was going too far. He said, how can we help you fight drug trafficking? I propose the United States military come in and help you. And you know what I said to him? No, President Trump, she said on Saturday, sovereignty is not for sale. Sovereignty is loved and defended. She added that she told Trump their two countries can work together, but you in your territory and us in ours. And finally, the Philadelphia Inquirer is reporting that when Erica Deuso goes door to door in Downingtown asking her neighbors to make her the first out transgender person to be elected mayor in Pennsylvania, her identity rarely comes up. Instead, she said her potential constituents talk to her about traffic problems and public safety. A member of the Chester County Democratic Party's executive committee and board member on several local and statewide LGBTQ advocacy groups, Deuso said she chose to run for mayor to serve her community and maintain its good neighbor spirit. But her campaign is historic, and as President Donald Trump's administration pursues policies that target transgender and non-binary Americans, Deuso knows her candidacy carries a strain of resistance. Trump's rhetoric, the executive orders overall, have made it harder for people like me to just live our lives. But I refuse to let the fear define that campaign, Deuso said. Some of the best pushback is just being visible. Deuso, originally from Vermont, became politically active when Senator Bernie Sanders ran for president in 2016 on a platform promising Medicare for all. She works in management at a pharmaceutical company and emphasizes her ability to build consensus and cut costs. If Deuso prevails in a competitive Democratic primary on May 20th and defeats a GOP opponent in November, she would be the first transgender person elected mayor in the Commonwealth, according to the Victory Fund, which works to elect LGBTQ individuals to public office. Deuso doesn't have a guaranteed path to victory. Her primary opponent, Barry Cassidy, gained respect from many in the borough's business community, leading the community's Main Street program and advocating on flooding issues. But Deuso earned key endorsements from the local Democratic Party and the outgoing mayor. Full disclosure, Erica Deuso is also the treasurer of the Pennsylvania Equality Project. That's the news at this hour. Up next, we have the local forecast for the Meadville area right here on PEP Radio.